Hello everyone, welcome back for the first session for our Selenium Live project. This batch is going to be called the batch of March 2016. So team, like I was mentioning in the previous orientation session, this is going to be a real-time project that we really seek assistance from you professional testers across the world to tell us how good the application itself is working so that we can go back to the client with confidence and say this is good to go to the market. All right, this is going to be very interesting team, especially this batch, because the application that we are developing is very different from the typical web based e-commerce applications or the social media applications that we worked so far. Yes, this is still gonna be a project that you could put on your resume along with the reference to our team once you've completed successfully working on it. So to do that team, what I'm gonna do is I will create a new folder under which is right now created under SLP November 2015, but I've got a document open. Where was that? MoST here. So here, this was the document that I used last time to kind of give you an overview of what the project is all going to be. I'm going to do a quick couple of minutes walkthrough on this document team and then we'll go straight to our project. All right. So I don't think we did big out here. We just said that there's going to be a good project coming up. The name of the application is called Turn Wave. Turn is a bird team. If you Google up, you will look at Turn as a bird, and that is more something called it's like a bird which is more coastal. It survives more towards the seas and rivers around those areas, and it kind of uh, travels very often between certain geographies of the world. So that primarily is the icon that we've initially thought of to name this specific application with. The second thing that we were speaking about is this is going to help online trainers more effectively communicate with the students. It's got certain roles and responsibilities and so on. Now, let me give you some kind of a background on this application before I go forward and how it's going to shape up team. All right. So I'm going to put a high level. I'm going to call this as a high level test plan. Okay. This is not purely automation team. There's never a project which is purely automation. Okay, automation is always a component, because if you talk about documentation, you talk about writing your use cases, test cases, preparing your test environment, test data, and all that is not really an automation job, but it will still is essential to do a perfect automation project, right? So as of now, the project is in development stage. The first release, or what I can say is the beta release, is scheduled for end of March. So I can call it easily as 31st March team, March 2016. Okay. It is currently hosted in our dev and test environments over the cloud. So the developers are able to complete the work over the cloud, and they're also able to push it into the testing environment for us to be able to test it. Okay. Now this has got immense scope for automation testing, and I'll tell you why. You will understand as soon as I give the overview. So what am I looking at today? We are sitting on the 15th of March 2016, and what is it that I plan to do here? Give you an application and a test overview. What is the application? How does it work? What kind of roles are we looking at from your side, and what kind of a depth of testing is essential for this. Okay, that is the kind of discussion into application and test overview, and then the scope of testing, both manual, automation, and also mobile based testing team. All right, we will also talk about the teams through which you will work on this project. So do note, team, like real time. Okay, this is gonna be simulating the real time test environment. All right, so we're going to really work on simulating the real time test environment. I can also say it's emulating because we are actually doing the work. It's not simulation, which is not this. I can call this easily as emulating instead of simulating. All right, you can actually check up the difference, team, between emulation and simulation in the dictionary or on Google. You'll get to know the idea. So as of today, I mean, as of this session, what is it that I want to give you, team? I want to give you the application overview, the scope of testing, the teams and how it's going to be working, and try and build up a schedule of the whole testing test scope. So when will you start testing? How will you start building it? And when will you do the actual testing of the application and so on? Okay. And for the application overview, team, I'm going to do two things. The concept itself, what is the application all about? How has it come to a shape, or how has it come to live the daylight? And also the workflow, concept workflow. And I will also give you a walkthrough of the efforts of the dev efforts so far. So let me ask you one quick question, team. If 31st March is when the application is going to be ready and 15th of March is today, between 15th, let's say rather 16th, from 16th to 31st, while the application is not ready, what is it that we can do? Is there certain activity that we can really involve? Or it's going to be a waste of time and you're going to be sitting, waiting, and seeing how the clock ticks? What is it that we could do between 16th to the 31st of March as software test engineers, be it manual, automation, or mobile app testing? What is it that you would do? Or should we be sitting idle? Can we do anything? The application is not ready, right? It's not yet ready for you to test. What can we do? Okay, now I get the answers, team. I'm getting the answers. So thankful to this. Dozens of you were there, closer to the 100 number who are currently participating in this session. Very nice of you. Okay, let's see. Write test cases. Okay, so I will write it not necessarily in the order. All right, team, as I see. Okay, this is not in order. We can write test cases. See, there are two things you can do with test cases, team, primarily. You can write test cases and you can execute them. You can also, the next one I see is work on test plan based on requirements. And this is thanks to Sushma and Suma. Then Shobha says go through the requirements. All right, understand the requirements. All right, then create a plan. Vidya, that we already said. We can set up the test environment. Set up test environment. This is so important. Can you see the kind of effort or tasks that we could do it? If I had to list them down, team, myself as an individual, I know I'll come up with 6 to 7, but or not 6 to 7, maybe something like this. But now that I have asked the audience, I can see how many are coming up. All right. So we've seen that Vidya, then Madhumita said test environment. Look at the spec, Mukundan. Yes, understand the application under test. Okay, understand the AUT. I would say partially because the application itself is not ready. Totally correct. Then test application and make sure it's working. Ali, that is one thing we cannot do. So, like Suma was saying, we should understand the application and a test. But it is can be done partially because the application is not ready for you. So you can not see what you're going to be testing, right? So you cannot really go and test out the application. That is one thing that you cannot do. So that can be ruled out. Build a framework for automation testing. Yes, Padmaja, we can. Automation test framework can be built. Perfect. Yes. Now let's see. Spruti, familiarize with application development so far and come up with various test cases based on requirement gathered. Yes. So you kind of summarize, Spruti, whatever we put here. Test analysis design. I'll just put it here, team. Like I said, right? Not in the necessary order. Test analysis and design. That's from Jayesh. Understand the project. Yes, Mukundan. Required overview. Yes, Shobha. We can develop test case based on the CRS. Yes, Sandeep. So write test cases based on the what is CRS, team? Anyone? Start writing. Now, while you keep answering it, I'll just do the remaining. Start writing test case. So I'll not read out all the names of the participants who put in right now, because unless it's unique right now, we can develop test case based on CRS. Start writing the test case. You know what? If I can copy this thing, that's great. But I don't think I can copy all of this. No, I don't think I can copy all of them. Okay, we can work on test plan preparation. Okay, let me do this thing. I can do one thing. I'm gonna quickly take a few screenshots. That way I can put. We can work on test case preparation, and we have a few more here. Give me a second. Okay, so let me take screenshots so you know that you know what others are saying as well. It's just not me reading it. You can, you know, it's easy. The good thing about this project team is, unlike the training, it is all about you. You are the one who's going to be interacting. You're the one who's going to be looking at how you can talk to us, how you can talk to the people in the different projects and interact with them and so on. All right. So that's why it becomes very important, team, for you to interact with everyone and have your voice with it. And maybe in a few minutes, team, I'll start unmuting some of the participants. That way we can get to hear more feedback. So I started putting these screenshots, and it should be ready in a second. Okay, there you go. So I've got the screenshots here. So I've got one screenshot here and the other one down. So now let me go back to reading it, team, while you see this. You all with me, right? You understand what I'm doing, team? Very simple. I'm just trying to make sure that we are interacting in the right zone out here. What happened to this is a different screen altogether. Sorry. Mhm. Okay, now I get it. What else is there, team? Okay, let's see. And test data preparation. We have to prepare the test data in terms of what is it that we're going to be testing with. If we do not have the test data with us, then we really cannot test anything, right, team? Customer requirement specification. All right, so CRS, I think that's the answer for those. What is CRS? The team started answering that, team. It is customer requirement specification. Yes. um, Exit criteria. All right, we're saying, when can we confidently say that you know, we can move the application into production? Correct. Client requirement is already there. Make a test plan is there. Work on test data requirements, right? The functional test with the specifications. All right, done, team. What else? What else can we do? Anything else that we can do before that? Test strategy, an overall thing. Beautiful. Create traceability metrics. Sorry. Create traceability metrics. I knew the traceability word I will misspell. Now confidently make errors. but I'm aware, so I can go back and fix it before it's really public. All right, so this is what I am saying that you guys can do from tomorrow till 31st, correct? Yes or no? Yes or no, team? Identify tools required. Okay, I will do that too. I'll put that too. Next, estimation. So this is what I am saying. Is Karthik saying that we can do this from 16th to 31st March? Did I say these things, team? Did I commit on it? I never said. I never said a single word out here. It is all you guys. You've been telling me what we can do, how we can put things together, and so on. Correct? So that means that you have committed to it. I have not said a single thing. This is your commitment, your agreement. Not you not agreed that you will do it. You've agreed that you can do it. Correct? All right, great. So the reason I'm saying team is one, as a crowd, we can do amazing things, especially when we work towards a singular goal, when we work towards a singular vision. And this is going to be a beautiful experience going forward, team. All right, great. So now this we have agreed. So let's continue with this specific overview, team. This is going to be very interesting. All right. I want everyone to really focus with me on this specific aspect. All right. I want you to really listen to me with a lot of focus and patience without any kind of a distraction that comes to you from anywhere, because this will tell you the reason this application idea is born and how it has come to evolve into a project that we have invested into, and that will give you the platform to get a real time project put onto your resume as part of software testing, more importantly automation testing, along with mobile app testing team. If you ask me, is there one project that I could do that will give me the breadth of all this testing practices, it this application will come close to it. This project will come close to it. Now let's forget about the need that you're a software testers and so on. All right, totally leave that concept to the side. Think of ITeLearn and Karthik for a second. All right, I'm calling Karthik out here and ITeLearn. All right, and team, please do excuse me for the drawing capability with my laptop specifically. I'm going to significantly improve this going forward, but as of now, please accept me on that. I'm talking to ITeLearn and Karthik. Who are we, team? Very briefly, just interact with me, please. Because the reason I'm asking you to interact with so many of you in the session, it makes it more effective to be able to talk to each other. So who are we? Who is ITeLearn and Karthik? Who are they? As per you, why are you here? Not the clients. Okay. Forget the project, forget everything. I'm saying ITeLearn and Karthik. We are online trainers. We're a training provider. Correct. To learn. I come here to teach. You come here to learn. And you are specifically representing in a way so that, okay, what can ITeLearn teach? What can we learn? What can we go to the market with and get our jobs? Correct. So there's a lot of communication that ITeLearn and Karthik does to you as a who team. Who are you? You are a trainee, right? You are a trainee. Now, when we do this team as an online training, what do we have? We have various activities and sessions going on, correct? Like we have an orientation session, and for this orientation session we have to send different broadcasts. We have to put information on our Facebook, we have to put information on our emails, we have to make sure that we put it on our Twitter, the social networks, and so on. And then these are the basic ways of for us to communicate. Correct, team? Is there any other way for us to reach out to people for the orientation session for one activity? And that is basically for people to register for it. Just register online. Now, if I can show you as an example, for this webinar, We have 438 people who have registered today. Do you think 438 people are attending the session today? Not necessarily, but there are 438 people who have registered. So I have these modes to announce people and say that, hey, register. We can also do phone calls. We may also do WhatsApp chat with people who are interested. We can do what else? What are the other ways that I can communicate with the audience and say, hey, register? Now I'm asking you to think like Karthik, I'm asking you to think like ITeLearn or the trainee that you are. Maybe reference, we can ask people to refer others, right? Please do refer others. And so we never really asked that, but it's a good point. You can always go and ask. Skype, absolutely. You can also do Skype. Actually, there are multiple registration registered by the same person. No, there are not, because it will not accept this tool which we have, right? It will not accept multiple registrations by the same person. It will have the same email ID is unique to you. Email ID basically. Twitter, that's what I put, and then through website, I think I put that, or so on. Advertisement on paper, TV, media, and so many other ways. Correct? LinkedIn, right? And so many other social networks. So there are amazing amount of ways for us to promote and say that, hey, you know what, registration is done. Now what happens? People register, then we have the actual live session, and people come and attend the live session, right? So the people who have attended, and then there are people who missed it, who could not attend. Both of these people are there, attended and missed attending. After they have attended the live session, or between these two people, all right, these two categories, some people come in for the first day one demo sessions or day two demo sessions, and then they come to the more premium sessions which are continuing for the paid men. So from the 500 people, let us assume, who register here, all right, and we get about 100 people showing interest here, okay, and we get about, let's say, 50 people who join for the demos. Just giving you simple mathematics here, team. Maybe 25 people are continuing to join through the remaining sessions, all right. Thankfully the statistics are much better than this for us, but let's take it as a mathematical example. Now with this kind of a scenario, what has happened, team? We are having to take people from different levels: 500, 100, 50, 25. So there are certain communications that we have to do with people at this level, and at people at this level, and at people at this level, and at this level. Now with the 500 people, I may only communicate 2 or 3 times. Say, hey, you know what, this session register. Hey, you know what, it's starting in 1 hour, come. Hey, we did it, we had the session, please, if you missed it, go watch the video. With the 100 people who attended and so on, I will say that, hey, this is amazing, thank you for attending, I appreciate it. Or we'll say, unfortunately you missed it, so why don't you come back and watch it. With the 50 people who are watching the day one, day two, I'll say, here is the video for first session, here's the video for second session, and so on. With the 25 people who continue to work, there may be another 30-40 sessions that they'll go through, or even 20 sessions, and each time I may be able to communicate with them. What kind of a communication? Saying, here is a file, here is a video, here is an audio link, here is an update, here is a change in schedule, or here is an important thing, here is a tip and trick. There's so many different categories of messages that I want to publish to different people out here, right? Yes, team. So far so good. You understand what I'm saying? I'm giving you the situation of a typical business and how they're trying to understand how the communication is going. Now having said this, what are the different challenges in this thing, in this kind of a scope? So out here I can write, oops, does not exist, okay, that's fine. online trainings in different scopes. Look at each of the communication system team, right? Now you can advise me and tell me, please, what are the different challenges that they may have. For example, email. What is the challenge if ITeLearn sends an email to each of you? What is the challenge, team? Tell me, please. I'm going to write a few of them and then try and tell you about this application. Goes to spam folder, right? Next, what else? It can be unread. No one could have read it. Why? Because too many emails, right? Too many emails. Or Google may say, I'll put it, Google sends it to promotions. Correct? So, what are the other challenges? You will have to search for it when you want it. For example, suddenly you'll remember, you know what? I actually thought of attending, at least to see how good this training is. Why do you guys, so many of you guys, have to come to the session and spend an hour with me, guys? Why? Because you believe it's going to be a value for you in your career, in your professional life. You will not spend 2 hours, even if someone comes and pays you money and says, go and watch this stupid movie, correct? If it's know it, that it's not going to be worth your time, you will not do it, right? In the same way, you are here for a specific reason. So you value your time, you know why you're here. So when you get your intimation as to that this is session, but you need reminders, you need to get constantly updated with this kind of challenges, which is there typically with a email. It is such a problem. But what about phone calls? This, I said, are with emails. Now similarly, if you see, for phone calls, what do we have as challenges? I'm coming to the whole concept, team. I'm reaching there. It should take no longer. Okay. What happens with the phone call? What if we start calling each of you and saying, hey, you know what? There is this orientation session. Why don't you register? Why don't you attend? It is intrusive, right? You may be busy. You may be not expecting a call, driving, and so on. It may not be convenient, or you feel not convenient, right? For you. It is also expensive for ITeLearn. Why is it expensive for ITeLearn? Calls are free, right? Calls across US are free. Email is not expensive, team, but this is expensive. What are the other things? Time taking. It takes time because each time we have to have a conversation and so on. And so convenient. So each of these solutions that are currently there, that we have just tried to put them together, right, team, have some kind of a challenge or the other. Our intent as a training provider, and I'm not giving all the ideas, team, all the different tools and so on, because that's there. As a training provider, we want to send short and quick communication to trainees, and trainees can search for required information without lot of effort, with ease, I'll say, not without, with ease. All right. And there is a constant um, messages and alerts that will help the trainees take full advantage of the program. End of the day, team, people are investing 30-40 hours, they're spending hundreds of dollars into it, and they're coming into it. It is for them that they would feel that there's a better way to handle this challenge, instead of missing out. Oops, I didn't get an email. Oh, I didn't see your Facebook. I did not, my phone is switched off. My it has gone to voicemail. I didn't check. So this is going to be a constant challenge. Even today, there is no one solution, team. to all the issues. There is none, and there can really be none, but you'll have a best option, best and easiest option, and that team is the Turnwave app. Turnwave app is a simple communication tool between the trainer and the trainee. The beauty of this application is to help the trainer send quick alerts, quick updates to each of the trainees, and they are able to receive and say, okay, great. So session is starting, very good. Or here's the video link, very good. And so on. That comes directly on the mobile device. Who will it really help, team? If you look at the whole audience, the register members, I understand out of this 500 people, let's say only 50 people are finally joining the sessions, but at least it's helping the 50 people. So there may be let me take another pen. There may be 3 alerts that we send here. There may be 2 alerts that we send here. There may be, let's say, 3 alerts that we send here, or messages saying, sessions are starting, here is a video to it, and so on. Here there may be 50 alerts over a period of 1.5 to 2 months while the training is going on. So for these 25 people, it becomes critical. So this app is going to be provided to all these people to download and to start, working with. May not all, but as it goes down, for all these 25 people, it will become a very important and essential tool to use. And that is all about Turnwave team. Now, if you go back and look at some of the documentation that we've created, you will get a brief idea. So here are the app workflow. Workflow is at a high level team. What happens? One of the most fundamental things that we did with this application, and you'll also see a few screens, and they're very dirty as of now. They're really not amazing, but that's fine. You'll get an idea. Is what we did with this application team is to keep it extremely simple. Do not complicate it. And this application is turning out to be more like a WhatsApp, but specifically for training. More like WhatsApp broadcast, but for training and specific alerts. Because why? When the trainees are putting so much of time, effort, and so on, it is important that communication is not lost and they are well, aware of how things are shaping up. That is the primary reason. So we have created a specific certain roles in the whole thing, and I'll talk about the roles and so on. For example, super admin. Super admin is someone who will come and create the different training institutes. So in this picture that I'm showing team, there is ITeLearn. So if I can show you one more picture here. So we have ITeLearn as one training institute. ITeLearn has multiple trainers team. Okay, for example, ITeLearn has Karthik, we have Manoj, we have Mahesh, Shankar. All these people are there, right? And all of them are different trainers as part of the institute. So ITeLearn is an institute, and then we have different trainers. Each trainer have different courses. So I may be handling 3 courses here. Mahesh may be handling, let's say, 1 course or 2 courses, or Manoj is handling another one. And here, let's say, Shankar is handling 2 courses. So this way, we have a different sort of communication happening. So Karthik will communicate individually with each of these 3 batches. Manoj will communicate with this 1 batch. Shankar is communicating with these 2 batches. Okay, this is part of a training. So this here is at an admin level, the training company. So someone from ITeLearn, let us say Andy or so, is going to be the main admin to monitor how this is. And here is the trainee level, trainer level. I'm so sorry, trainer. Here is a trainee. So this is the main setup team. Then we may have a super admin, or we may have an approver in between as to how the alerts are going and so on. Now that is super admin, where who's able to create IT. So today it is ITeLearn. Tomorrow it may be any other online training company, let's say OT, or it is online training. And they may have similar setup. They may have only 1 trainer, or they may have 20 trainers within them. And the primary objective is the admin will come and they will set up the account, and they are the main owners. They will also come and make sure they understand how this application works and so on. Admin will fill up information like the name, email, the training company's name, email, phone, website, address, country, what courses they specialize on, the social sites they have like the Facebook link and so on, and who they have been referred by. Then there are going to be registration triggers. Once the admin registers, an approval will be done by the super admin saying that, okay, you know what, admin, there's a new company which is registered, and here is the administrator from that company. Let's approve that specific application. Once it's done, the admin can then come in team and can do the certain things. They can create the trainers. Oops. Trainers is basically saying adding people like Karthik, Manoj, Mahesh, or Shankar, and so on, and creating their profiles initially. Then they can add the courses, what courses they want to work on, and say that, you know what, we're going to do a Selenium training, we're going to do a QTP training, we'll do a C sharp training, let's do a PMP training, let's do a yoga training, let's do a cooking class, whatever be it. All right, we're going to create those courses specific to that training company and those trainers. All right. Then we create something called tags team. Tags are for knowing people, have they paid or not paid, registered or interested, and so on. That way we are not having to disturb people who are not really interested through this communication. Then comes one of the most important things, team, called categories. Categories basically says the type of a message. Is it an alert? Is it a countdown saying that some session is starting, or a link to a video or a file, and so on? So there are different categories that we've created, and we said these are the different categories that we will build on. And then they can upload or import trainees. So for example, now this session is going on. I should be able to take these 438 people and put them into that application and send them an invite to download and start using that application. All right. And then it goes to the approver who gets to view the alerts that are going or the messages and be able to say, okay, from the trainer to the trainee, these things are fine. Okay. So approver could be a different level team. Then we have the trainer. All that the trainer does is comes in and sends this broadcast saying which category, which course or group, what is the subject, what is the content, and sends a notification in the mobile app, which also happens to go to the email for the training. So the same message also goes to the email, but it's also hitting the mobile app. And then broadcasts that they send, they can view the specific status saying it's sent, pending, rejected, modified. What can the trainees do? Trainees can do only one thing. They can view the message. They can say, okay, I've got an alert, I've got an update, just like your WhatsApp notifications. Okay. It says there's an icon for the training company, image for the trainer, name of the trainer, date and time sent, course group, a category, subject, and message body. They can also sort messages, search the messages, or send a short reply to the trainer for that message. That is the application team. Does this application look very simple for all of us? Does it look like a simple application, right? It's not a very complicated, right? Trainer wants to send messages to the trainee and they want to receive it. But trust me, team, we've been working on this specific one and it is so complex to develop. If you go through such a project yourself as a developer, you will have high respects and regards for not only development but for the need for testing. All right. Now, what I'm going to do, team, I'm going to briefly show you the different roles and a few screenshots for you to get an idea as to where we are right now. Okay. I'm going to put this in a high level test plan. And team, I will definitely don't worry too much about in terms of how much you understand and so on, because I will guide you as we go along. So we have currently hosted this in dev.atomic77.in. What we are trying to do, team, is this. Okay. By the way, Atomic 77 is our development partner. They are the ones who are developing this application in and out, the functionality, the workflow, and so on. So now, if I walk through, where is this? Okay. the admin. Okay, there's an admin password, the trainer and password, there's a trainee and password, and so on. So let me look at the trainee. Okay, I'm going to copy this password. It's going to be same. So just let you know, team, if you're watching the video or viewing it later, uh, we will definitely change these passwords. That way, it's not going to interfere with the operations. This is for admin. Okay, and admin username is Andy. Right. Now, admin is able to go in and look at the different notifications. They're able to look at the courses that they want to add. You see them, team? We've created. So they can create a new course and say, hey, you know what? I want to create a new course, and I'll call this yoga classes. And they can browse and select a file to attach as a thumbnail and submit it. So you see there's so many things, aspects here where it does not say thumbnail. It say add new courses. It must say browse to attach a thumbnail. There are two sets of information, course name and the thumbnail. That's it. The whole idea, team, is to make it so simple. Then we have add a trainer or add trainees. So if I click on add trainer, it will say username of the trainer. Let us say I want to add Shankar as a trainer. Then it will say browse for the trainer icon and what course this specific person is planning to take. All right, and say I'll say create. So now Shankar is created and he or she can take that course. But at the same time, an email will go to Shankar saying, hey, you know what, you can go and take the specific course and so on. Then similarly, they can add the trainees. They can add each trainee individually and what course they belong, or they can do a bulk upload. All these features are for the admin, and the admin is able to create their own icon, name, and so on. They're also having the ability to be able to do notifications. What are the different notifications? It's going from whom to. For example, Karthik sent a notification for Selenium training on March 15th. This is the subject, this is the message. They click on it, it opens up. The intent theme is this is going to be a responsive theme. So the application, once you resize it to more mobile friendly size, then you'll see the UI changes. So this is all web based as of now that you see. But once you log in, once the mobile app is ready, same thing will be also an application that is installed on the mobile device. Now let me go similarly for a trainers thing. So Karthik is a trainer on this. And for that specific trainer, you will see that he or she has the access to view certain notifications that they've already sent and what status they are in. They're able to add new notifications team. And the reason I'm trying to do this team is not to confuse you in any manner. It is not a complex system. It's got specific roles. The clarity is very important with minimal features. So they want to send in notification for which course they are eligible for certain courses. So though I created yoga classes, I cannot do anything for yoga classes. Why? Because it is not part of this trainer's communication. And then they have the category of the message. What kind of a message is this? Is it a general message, an alert, an update, or a link? They enter a title here. Say Selenium Live Project M2016 Test 1. Okay, I'll call this as main body test, and just put some information like this and save this information. So the reason we save it is so that it goes through the approver cycle. It is saved and someone has to go and approve it. Now I say that I want to broadcast it. It goes to the approver or it goes directly. Now you go in and log in as a trainee. So I believe Syed is the trainee in this. And he can view Syed. So the one which we sent did not require an approval, so it has come automatically for that specific training. So here are the different screens that have been made so far. The UI is not frozen. The application functionality is still about I would say more like 50% there. There's so many things to change in this, and this is where we are. This is under development, and here is the current version. By 21st, we hopefully will have much more better version for you all to really do advanced testing team. Okay, so this is the application, this is the overview, this is what we are doing. You understand what it is, team? So this session is only to show you where we are, what we're doing, and how we're progressing, and for you to get that deep meaning. And once you've gone through this, it shows basically that what all you have access to and so on. Now I have put this document in a different folder, which I'll get it back, but there was an earlier version. I will have my Selenium Live project November 2015. What I'm going to do, team, is I'm going to have my technical trainers. So in this project, I'm going to be actively involved, unlike other projects where my technical team has been. At the same time, I will have the help from different trainees, people from my team, uh, from the technical team, to guide me through the entire thing. This specific mobile app team is going to be native. It is also going to be hybrid, because it can be viewed on web on a mobile browser, but it can also be installed using iTunes and Play Store. We already have developed the native app for Android. We still to do it for iPhone. So here, team, if you look at, we have the different teams that they worked in the recent live project for Selenium. I'm going to quickly open up the contact sheet to show you how things are going to be shaped up for them. I'm going to hide two columns, especially the email and phone number. All right. So this was one of the smaller projects that we did recently, and in this, if you can notice, oops, I didn't. What happened here? Let's column A. Control C. Come on. What did I do? Give me a second, team. I kind of messed up one sheet, so I'm trying to quickly undo it. I'm not able to, team. I'm so sorry. Something I did with this sheet. In all the name column, it's disappeared. Sure. Contact sheet. Okay, now you go. Let me quickly hide them. Come on. All right. So I didn't want to show the names and the emails and phone numbers, team, just for this. Okay. So here the different participants were there, and the different teams. So we've divided between 7 to 10 people team, typically going to each team that we create, and they are interacting with each other to execute this project. They come from different portions across the globe. A lot of people come from US, but we do get people from Canada, UK, Australia, India, and so on. And depending on the time zones, we group them together into those specific teams. Okay, so once you put together into teams, you will create your own folders. My team will actually create this for you and start making uh, the different documentations right from the test plan, and then go about creating what is it that they've been doing, the test artifacts, all of these things they will keep creating team. Okay, so lot of documentation, lot of hard work goes through each team. They, each of you will come and present it to us as to what you've done, what is the progress from your end, and how you've kind of created this document, what is the purpose for it, and so on. So all of these things are well documented, well maintained, for us to be able to work together. We also create this Q&A document, a test plan overall, and so on. But all of these things, team, is done primarily by the people who are working in the project. Team, I know it's already an hour into the session, so I'm gonna give about 10-15 minutes for quick Q&A. That way we will be able to get to the next session. So today is Tuesday. Maybe the next session is going to be on Friday, team, just to take you to the next level. The application, as you saw, is not currently completely ready for testing, but we've also agreed as to what is it that can be done meanwhile while the application is getting prepared for testing. So at the moment, if any of you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I am also welcoming people who want to unmute, who want to speak their question out. So if you have a question, you would love to speak on it, do raise your hand. Once you raise your hand, I know that you are having, I can unmute you so that you can speak up the question, team. Okay. So team, any of you are on phone and so on, please make sure that you enter your audio pin, otherwise I cannot unmute you, especially you, Ravi, because you dialed in through the phone. You have to enter the pin number. Okay, so while I see hands getting raised for questions, I'm gonna start taking the questions from chat. When will the teams be formed? Suma, I'm gonna discuss with my team, and I believe it is all about confirmation from the participants. I don't know how many people have confirmed so far and so on. So once they confirm, we can start creating the teams. We'll start creating the teams from today, and it will go on for the next couple of days. By end of this week, hopefully the team should be ready. I'm finishing live training. I'm finishing live training. Will be finishing soon. Okay, that's fine. So what we expect from you all is at least the ability to understand the concepts of automation testing, Selenium specifically, data-driven framework, at least minimum to minimum that, all the core Java that is required essential along with JUnit for the automation testing that is required, team. Mobile app testing, I know not all of you are part of that training, but if you want to subscribe to the videos, now is a good time to get that going and to be able to start testing it. So depending on your skill, team, the reason we emphasize for people to have access to that specific course is because what happens is I put you into a group of, let's say, 10 people, and 2 people know mobile app testing very well because they've gone through the training or they've worked on it. Others don't know it. And then what happens is the other people who don't know it will become kind of a burden for the project and for the 2 people who know the tool very well. That is the reason it becomes critical. So team, once again, I'm going to the questions in the question and answer section that is not visible to you. If you like to speak for any specific reason, please feel free to put your hand up and I can unmute you. I'll come to your questions as soon as I'm done with a few questions on the chat. When will teams be decided? Yes, I said. Are we allowed to speak with the team that we have placed? Absolutely, Mukundan. So the teams, each team, let's say that 7 to 10 people that are there, you interact daily on Skype, on GoToMeetings, on WhatsApp, on phone calls, on team meetings. You interact with each other daily, emails and so on. And that you do very, very extensively, teams. So that will become very important. When will teams be divided? That's it. Karthik sir, how many sessions will it be in total? It's not about sessions, it is all about the project itself. I'm looking at least till end of April to be able to complete this project, because even if we get 60% of our test documentation as per what we mentioned here ready by 31st March, all right, and we start building that ready for, I'm sorry, before the application is up, we're looking at a solid 2-3 weeks of testing, reporting, a little bit of bug fixing and retesting and so on. Next session will be either Thursday or Friday, team, or worst case it will be early next week. The team will communicate with you. See, all of these communications, this is why I could realize that the essence for such an important communication tool to be able to do all of this information sharing. How do we know if I'm in or not? Mukundan, you will see your name once you get to the project level. It will be communicated to you. Friday, what will be our deliverables? Good question, Madhumita. As of now, I will just request you to go back, look at this video, and start writing down a few, high level requirements document. Okay, you can't really get to a test cases as of now, but high level requirements. You saw the document that I kind of did a walkthrough of. The same document you can take and create it and expand it into requirements thing. My development team has many more documents that they've created, and once I consult with them and make sure that then the perfect shape, I can share it with you all. When will the next session be? I've answered. How do we know if, okay, so I've answered that. How do we confirm a participation? Same thing, Shruti. So you can email learn@itlearn.com and make sure that you're part of the team, and they will add you. All right. Where is requirement document? Is it available for us? As of now, team, I have not shared any document with any one of you. The video is one thing I'm going to share, and I'm going to make you work, team. I'm not going to give you things easily. I may ask you to actually go through the video itself and create the documentation, because that is what is important to you. You doing everything rather than being provided with things. So requirement documentation is what I've showed to you. There's nothing beyond that as of now. Okay. I've enrolled for Selenium Live Project and training. Do I need to pay and enroll again for MoST? Archana, so for MoST, you'll have to contact the team, please, because it's a different course altogether. It's got many more components. I have enrolled, but not sure if I'll be in the team. You will be, Mukundan. So we have not yet distributed the teams yet. Is there webinar every day to monitor the developments of each day for the coming 1 month? No, there will be 2 sessions a week, team, like Monday and Thursday or Tuesday and Friday. In these sessions, you will come to us and present and show as to what is it that you've done. How did you focus? How did you create all these activities? Okay, all this documentation. Wherever you, where are you currently in the testing process? How much scripts have you created, and so on. Now, in this process, you will, however, interact with your team members at least for 2 to 3 hours every day. So there's a lot of interaction within the team, and there will be significant interaction with ITeLearn technical staff as well. Do we need to know mobile testing? So for mobile app testing team, the thing is this mobile app is nothing but the same web app that we have, to have that in the mobile device as well. So it is going to be a version of the web app that's going to the mobile device. And for that matter, mobile app testing will become very, very essential, but it's not going to be as huge as the overall web app testing. All right. So it's more to see with the environment, device, UI, the network, and how it flows in, notifications, and so on. Those things will be tested for the mobile application. So if you don't know mobile app testing, or you're not part of the training, you may not be part of that specific section of the testing team. All right. Do you know what browser we'll be using for testing? So as of now, it's going to be cross-browser testing. Definitely cross-browser. So once you build the automation test, we will have to include IE, Chrome, and Firefox for sure. Can we do it on more browsers or not is a question mark. Okay. And the good thing is, since the functionality is going to be the constant across all of these things, it will be really helpful for us to do it on different browsers, see how the compatibility is. 1 second, team. Let me take a sip of water, please. All right, let's see. SOAP UI and web services, not much. I don't think you really need to do to that extent as of now. We're not going into performance testing and web services testing team. And even database testing, we're not really focusing too much on. Okay, I've done Selenium and Java training from some other institute. I want to do a live project to get better idea. How do I enroll? Padmaja, you can contact the team, but I can tell you the answer. It's going to be a no-no team. Primarily because, unfortunately, what has happened is this industry has tried to present what concepts we have done in different ways. I go more project-based, others go in a different way. All right, that's the reason. Let me take a few people who put their hands up, please. That way, I'm not ignoring their questions as well. All right, Ravi, can you hear me? And go ahead, please. I can hear you. Do you have a question for me?
Yes, that's it. I took training from other websites, online sites. So I just came only for the live project. So is there any difference in the fee structure, or You
There's no
have to
option.
mandatory buy all your courses and then take the training. I mean,
Yeah.
join the project.
Yeah, see, the reason is very simple. I'll tell you why. There's no option for it with us as of now. Primarily because I don't know what you've learned. It is like, you go to a doctor, okay, and you say that I have ABC problem. They will do the tests and they will give the report saying, okay, your, this is what is your blood pressure, your sugar level, and so on. And then you don't like the doctor, maybe you'll go to someone else next time to consult, and they'll say again you have to do those tests. If you have reports of recently done tests and all that, they will say, okay, you know what, but do the other test. I'll still have to check your blood pressure myself. I want to make sure because I cannot trust what the other doctor has really done on you. That is the challenge, and that is the reason we emphasize it for our own trainees. So, but do write to the team. I'm not sure if there's any option other than having access to at least the videos. The reason is, as we keep going along, right, a lot of times we refer and say, look at those videos, look at these videos, implement based on that specific URLs, video number, so and so, and so on. It's a lot of reference there, right? Kshitij, question to you. Ravi, if you have another question, you can put your hands up again, hand up again on the chat. So team, it's a virtual hand up. It's not a real hand up because I cannot see each of you. But what I can see is there's an icon there in the go to meeting, go to webinar. You can use it. Kshitij, you have a question? I cannot hear you. Don't know why. I don't know if you're talking or you're not talking as of now. I did unmute you though. Let me try Padmaja. Not Padmaja. Anuradha was, I think, believe the next one to have. Anuradha? Yeah. Hello, Anuradha? There's a lot of noise here. But I cannot hear you. Okay, let me try Padmaja. Padmaja? Why can't I hear suddenly? No one. How about Shobha? Okay, I guess I can hear you. Padmaja, can you try and speak? Hello? Guys, make sure the audio is fine, please. When you raise your hand. That's it. Shruti, do you have a question? Hello, Shruti?
Hello.
Yes.
Uh, Hi, this is Shruti here. Since I stay in Australia, the time difference is like we are ahead of from your time.
Yeah.
Is it possible that you don't have next session on Friday because it will be a Saturday afternoon for me here?
Yeah, so typically we try and do it from Monday and Thursdays, but that's the typical thing. So I just said Friday because today's Tuesday, and then it's too early to do a session on Thursday. We usually do not do Fridays because even for UK and India, apart from Australia, also becomes Saturday morning. Yes, point noted. Hopefully, it should not be, but just in case, you will have to discuss with your team or catch up on the video, and you do it as part of that specific teamwork, Shruti.
Okay, all right.
All right,
Uh,
but
Yeah, one more thing. Like since I have already registered, do you want me to send out a mail again to the ITeLearn
yes,
saying that I want to join
you,
the project?
you will have to send an email saying that I would like to be part of this project.
Okay, all right.
Then we can put you on because a lot of times what happens is we don't know how serious people are. So if people are really serious for it, then they will reply to us. That is the reason.
Okay, sure. I'll do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna see who else. Let's see Mukundan and Shobha. I'm Some of you I'm not able to hear, guys, so just check if you're able to speak. Mukundan.
Yeah, hi. This is Mukund. Just have a question. So to create the requirement documents, do we have to wait until you create the team, or is it like each one of us should create our own requirement documents?
Okay, good question. So um, typically, if from the team, there'll be one document which will come out, all right? But someone may take lead and start creating the documentation uh, before the others join in and start pitching into it. So if you're part of a team, you could always start. So for example, what happens is a lot of people show immense amount of interest at the very beginning of the project. So it is great to just start working on the requirements document yourself, and as the team joins, to collaborate with them and have their help to put in some pictures, images, use case diagrams, and so on. All right.
Okay. So what we are supposed to do is to just look at the the video once again and then see what else can we be added and then we can create them, right? Okay.
Exactly,
Okay.
as of now. So, see, unfortunately, what happened is half of the session was just to introduce about the project and what we'll do. The other half was really the application walkthrough, which was not very lengthy, but hopefully it got the idea. So, if you go back through that portion of the video where I explained using that picture, that how the need arised and so on, and then looking at some documents, you will get most of the initial picture clear. And then when we do the session where we review the functional requirements document and your overall test plan, then we can say, you know what, this is the right way, or here are the changes that we propose.
Okay. I have one more quick question, and then I'll probably let others to ask. So the thing is, when you try to explain about the project or anything of that matter, if we kind of confused, can we raise our hands at that point in time and to
So,
get a clarification on that, or is it like do we have to wait until the end of the session? Because if that is so, then we have to keep writing notes on that. So that is something I would really want to know because I actually sent a text message saying like, hey, could you please explain the previous ones because I just got confused with a couple of
yeah.
things. So, I mean, it is good that you are giving the video so that we can go back and then look at one more time. But it's going to take time after we finish this session. Then going back and then looking at it would make sense. But asking questions then and there would also make it more clearer, right? So, so how exactly would that work?
Right. So, Mukundan, fortunately, this is very unlike our typical trainings, live
Hmm.
training. What happens during our typical live training is we give that lecture for the 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and so on, and then say any questions, and then we move on. It's not typically the entire 1 hour, and then we give permission to ask questions. This is going to be all you guys talking, one team after the other. You'll keep talking, you'll keep saying about the project, what you've done, and we'll keep giving feedback to it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, even for example, there's some updates or change in requirements, and we have to present it. What we will do is we will showcase that, and then you will have the ability to ask questions at any point on that. It's not going to be long sessions. So, in short, yes, you will get quick responses. You will be having the ability to ask questions. In fact, it's going to be more of you all talking than us talking from the training side. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So, team, I do have a few more questions. I know it's 7:50. It's almost 1 hour 20 minutes, 1 hour 10 minutes at least for the session. I really apologize for this, but this is important questions. I'm gonna see if anyone else is interested. Team, as of now, I put the hands all down. If someone really wants to speak and has a question that's not been answered earlier, please do put your hand up again. I'm gonna take a few questions from the chat. And do note, team, this is gonna be a lot of effort from your time, from your side, so it will be intense. It's not like training that you come in, some days you can miss and so on. You have to be participating. So for you to participate, you have to really work for at least 2 3 hours a day on an average to do this project minimum. Okay, prerequisites for this live project is primarily the fact that you're part of the training, you've gone through the tutorials with us, and then you'll be able to do a good justice for this. How do you manage time zone? We have the specific session, which is a review of the project at around 6:30 p.m. Pacific, and that has to be calculated to various zones. And the teams will have to work on their own zone, on their own time zone. So when we divide team, we do that way. We do US West Coast, we do US Central and East, and then we do UK, Europe, then we do India, Australia. We do that kind of a club. I've attended QTP training. So Indrajit, please reach out to the team for that question. Karthik, can we make our own group? Parul, good question. With few known members, good question. I mean, it's always good to do it. The reason I do not suggest is I want to put you through some tough challenges. When you have known people in the team, there's a certain comfort level. But what we want to do is put you through that unknown zone where that comfort level is not that high. All right. So, but still, I will not ignore your request. If you can send an email on it, and we will see what we could do about it. Okay. Mic is not working, Sithit. That's fine. Would you please share the notes? I will share the video with you all, team, so you can translate that. When is the actual start date of live project? The project has started today. All right. The project has already started. The activities that you can do, you already mentioned. What is it that you could be doing and so on. So we can get started on it. The teams will be divided, and based on the teams, we can do the next action items. When will the video be uploaded? It will take at least 2-3 hours, team. I have to first encode it, upload it, then my team has to download and then upload it onto YouTube and share it. So it's going to take a few hours, at least 4 to 5 hours, please. Is ITeLearn providing support for job marketing? Yes, Padmaja, we have a placement unit. We do a lot of activity on that zone. You can interact with the team. You can send to placements at ITeLearn.com. I think most of the questions are done. Can we access? So Shobha, while I read a few other questions, I'm going to unmute you. Do you have a question, please, Shobha? Shobha? Go ahead.
If I want to be part of mobile testing sessions also, how can I do that?
So, see, the good thing is mobile app testing will be done for this project a little later, more from mid of April, exactly in a month's time and so on. It will not start immediately because the application is not as ready as the web app testing. So you have about a month to learn about the mobile app testing. And so you can enroll for mobile testing course in the meanwhile and start learning on parallelly. It is additional effort for you. But then I would strongly suggest it, team, because once you go into the market with this kind of a portfolio that you've done this kind of testing using Selenium, mobile app testing, using other automation tools and so on, will really play value. So you can write an email to learn at ITeLearn.com. The team should be able to help you out there.
Sure. Thanks, Karthik.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any other questions, team? Please do let me know on the chat. So I've come to the end, team. I think a couple of things. When will this application be ready to get familiar with? So Kshitij, as of now, it is ready. What we will do is I will have my team to create certain user accounts without the ability to change passwords, so you can play around with it. And you can start creating, each team can start creating their own trainee account, trainers, admin, and so on. Give us a few days, team. They're working very hard to get this up, to get it ready for testing. I have to leave. Can I leave the session? Yes, please. You're most welcome, Mukundan. So, team, I am done from my end. Most of the questions I've answered. If there are further questions, feel free to reach us. We will be glad to assist you. But do note, this project, one of the main things is your initiative. It is not about our push to you. So you have to take the initiative. You have to start working on it and make sure that you put in the hard work and reach out to us, get the information and get going. So team, I'll see you either later this week or early next week for the follow-up session, and we'll get all things organized before that. So if you are someone who's planning to join, now is the good time. Do not delay it, because a day or two and then all the teams, we want to put them together. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. This has been one of the most attentive sessions. Almost all the people who joined from the beginning, except for 5-6 people, they continued to be throughout the session and they listened patiently to the end. So thank you so much. Have a great week. Look at you all to be part of one or the other team, and I'll see you back later. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye then. Thanks all.